Hi guys, hey! So today I'm coming to you with something that I've been kind of putting off, kind of formulating how I feel about it. If you are new to my channel, I make new videos every week and you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Never. So if you want to likey, clicky, subscribe it down there or not, I'm easy. That's what she said. Anyway, anywho, I have been on both sides of this topic. I've had to be on an airplane when I was over 500 pounds, going from both Virginia to California and from California to Virginia. So I have flown plenty of times in my lifetime, and I know that this is something that a lot of people may experience. A lot of people have a lot of anxiety about what it's going to be like for larger people on an airplane. I'm also going to talk about my latest trip and how I was treated. And I'll talk about JetBlue as well as United, and I will also talk about Southwestern. So when you're over 350 pounds, most airplanes, not airplanes, my husband is tapping his video game, so it's giving me squirrel brain, and I'm like, most airlines, there we go. Most airlines require you to buy 2 seats if you weigh over 350 pounds. Now, I can say from experience that I understand why. I understand that airlines like Southwestern are cheap because they pack you in like sardines, so there isn't a whole hell of a lot of room. And not every airplane you're going to get on is going to have the seats that have the arms that go up. You will actually have to look at the model of the airplane to find that out, because you can actually be stuck in an airplane that doesn't have the arms go up, and then you're going to be really sad. So going from 500 pounds to about I think it was like 340, no, I'm sorry, 380. So from 523 pounds to 380, I had to buy 2 seats on the airplane. So I've flown JetBlue, and then I flew United. And both times they were pretty accommodating. And I really didn't have to worry about not having my seat because they were assigned seats on both of these airlines. So it wasn't a big deal for me, because I didn't have to worry about somebody wanting to sit next to me. Now, I did get some negative looks as people kind of, would have to sit next to me. Once I did start losing weight and didn't have to buy a second seat. So we'll talk about that. So if you are over 350 pounds, just to make yourself more comfortable and to not have to worry about somebody being an ass and making a stink and being extremely rude and making you very upset, getting a second seat can make you feel better. I also suggest that you get the wheelchair service. Okay, it doesn't matter if you can walk to and from the gate. It doesn't make you a stronger person. It doesn't make you the best person ever. It doesn't, it doesn't matter in the great scheme of things. But knowing that they're going to have somebody there to take you to and from where you're supposed to be. So you don't have to worry about running to the gate and which gate you're supposed to be on and grabbing all your stuff. Having wheelchair assistance when you're over 350 pounds can make your life a lot easier. Especially if you have any, joint problems or anything like that. And if you're late to, if you're late to the airport, I always suggest going about an hour and a half early, just because it takes about 30 minutes to get through security, sometimes longer. You may want to stop and get something to drink because you can't bring anything to drink with you, because you have there can be no open liquids, you know, unless it's in your bags and whatnot. And then you may be stopped by TSA. So most of the time, it's just better if you get your drink or whatever on the other side of the security center. So, but if you're on wheelchair assistance, somebody will wheel you around. They will take you through the security system. You will find it less likely to be annoyed by the situation because you're kind of rushed through it, so you're not having to stand in line, you're not having to deal with a whole bunch of horse shit. I found it much easier for me, and still do it even though I'm not 350 pounds. But in my last trip, I took wheelchair service because it took a lot of anxiety off me. I did happen to walk like from Portland, like off the plane from Portland to Michelle, and then from I walked from Oakland to my husband. So I only took the wheelchair service, you know, there. Does that make any sense? So I'd be able to get on the plane first. Oh, that's another thing. If you take wheelchair service, you get on the plane first, so you get to get on your seat first, you get to put up your shit first, you get to, if you need an extender. Don't be afraid to ask for an extender, guys. I know that it's kind of embarrassing. People don't give a shit. Nobody cares. The only person that cares is going to be you. And if you care about that, you can also bring your own extender. But, you know, those are expensive, and it's unless you're like a frequent flyer. But regardless, you can ask for an extender. And since you're one of the first people on the plane, I mean, nobody's going to hear you ask for it. And just don't be embarrassed, okay? So now we'll talk about my last 2 trips. Okay, so I went from California to Texas, and I was on Southwestern, and I noticed things immediately. So because I didn't have to get 2 seats, still over 300 pounds, but that's not the point. I don't take up 2 seats anymore. I like to sit by the window, and on Southwestern, you can pick your seats where you want to sit. So I always like to sit in the front, and I've had the same experience on both flights that I took. So from California to Texas and from California to Portland. People don't want to sit next to me, and it is really upsetting and really embarrassing for me to be the last seat on the plane, and someone is forced to sit between you and whoever's sitting there. And people don't make eye contact with you, and even though, you know, you're smiling, and I literally am not oozing into the other seat, and, you know, there's plenty of room, people don't want to sit next to you because you're fat. And to me, that's ridiculous. The lady who finally did have to sit next to me on my way to Portland, and the woman who sat next to me on my way to Texas, and the Texas had somebody sitting next to me. It's not that they weren't nice, it's that they were annoyed that they had to sit there because I was the very last seat to be filled. So one thing I really wanted to say to people is that, you know what? I didn't want you to sit next to me anyway. I mean, shit. That's kind of how I feel about it. I'm like, what if I don't want to sit next to you? You know, it kind of hurts my feelings to be, you know, under a certain amount of weight, and to be as far as I've come and to still be discriminated against. Like, at what point, at like what weight do you have to be for people to accept you? And I think that's what I'm struggling with right now, is that these people have no idea where I came from. These people have no idea how hard I work, or You know, they don't care if I'm wearing a t-shirt. They don't care if I'm wearing really nice clothes. They don't care if I smell good. You know, they still treat me like I'm trash. And I think that's one of the things that upset me the most, is that, you know, I don't remember ever treating somebody like they were less than because they were larger. I don't remember, and it's probably because, you know, I've always been here and I know what it's like, but I have never looked at a thin person, you know, and was like, oh, well, I don't want to sit next to them because of X, you know, or looked at another large person that may be bigger than me and been like, well, you know, I'll probably be uncomfortable if I sit next to them. That never occurs to me. Like, never ever occurs to me. And I even went so far as to like hold my arm like over like this, like way over, just you know, just, I don't know. So I noticed that, you know, not only that, but I got judged for eating the cookies and the fucking peanuts that were offered on the flights. That people notice and look around like I'm supposed to be like, oh no, I don't want my snacks that I paid for because this is my flight. No, I ain't hungry. No, got any carrot sticks back there? I mean, you guys got some celery and maybe some soda water, like crust of bread. Hello? No, that didn't happen. You know, I'm human. I'm allowed to have my own shit. You ain't gotta look at me like there's something wrong with me because I'm eating the you know, the same shit you're eating. And, you know, that was another thing that annoyed the shit out of me. Is that, you know, it is okay for people to eat like trash as long as you don't look like this. It is alright for people to have nachos and eat burritos and have soda and eat cereal and have cookies and eat a bag of Oreos and just tons of fucking food. Like, it is perfectly normal and acceptable unless you look like this. And then it's, oh, well, you're already fat. Do you want to get fatter? Mind your own damn business. That's how I feel about it. I think it's rude. Like, I don't look at other people's plates as like, well, you know, your mother's cousins, brothers, mothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, dogs, groomers, cousins, hairdresser has diabetes, so you probably shouldn't be eating that Fun Dip over there, girl. You know, it ain't none of my damn business what you're eating. You know, unless you're eating like sardines next to me and that shit stank. Like, it ain't none of my business. Ain't none of my business. And even then, I'd be like, you know, trying to bring that out of the other nose. But that still ain't none of my business. So, for me, again, I don't think it's fair that I'm still last. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I still feel like I'm in fucking high school and getting picked last, you know, for the team. Because, you know what? There's your team right there. And you can shove your team right up your Rudy Poo candy ass because I don't want to be on your team anyway. I don't want to sit next to you anyway. So, that's how I feel about it. So, alright guys, if you have any other questions from my jaded ass about travel when you are quite larger than your average Joe, I have plenty to tell you. I may even make a second part of this, but I just heard my phone tell me that it's about to die, which is another reason for me to shut my pie hole. I love your beautiful, gorgeous, amazing faces. I hope everybody's having a wonderful rest of your weekend. My booty is about to go to the gym. I've been sitting here thinking about what I'm going to do today, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Mwah. Bye.